Hey, Melissa, it's Jordan here. Want to give you a quick overview of the booklet I wrote. It's called Select an Ideal Life Sail, your 59-minute guide to enjoying the journey of life. And the idea just behind the reason I wrote this is that a number of things. First of all, I think there's so much great information out there about how to thrive, how to flourish in life, but it can be super overwhelming. 300-page books, weekend seminars, tons of podcasts, so much information, and so many people are sitting there going, I do want to improve my life. I want to be happier, but where do I start? And that's why I wrote this short booklet that really can be read in an hour if you sit there and read through it. That's not really the best way to go through the booklet because it has interactive exercises and it's really meant to be taken piece by piece and not rushed through. But you could, in an hour, go through this. And so that's one of the reasons I put this together. And what I did is I read a ton of 300-page books and listened to tons of TED Talks and heard all these messages that were really similar. And what helped me get through college and remember things is to put things into an analogy. So I put all the key pieces of advice that kept repeating themselves into an analogy, and I made it into an interactive workbook. So if somebody was saying, I want to improve my life, but I'm not really sure where to begin, what aspects of my life need the most attention, they could read this guy, Sale, and then hone in on the area or the areas of their life that need the most attention. And then they could go pick out that 300-page book and read about, that particular area of their life and how they could improve upon it. Or they could sign up for that fairly expensive seminar or whatever it might be, once they knew kind of where the key areas in their life are that need the most attention. So anyway, to quickly go through some of the sections, it's all about how life is a journey, and you've heard this before, but it's not like getting on a path in a that there's one road for you. It's actually about going out and enjoying the adventure of it and having lots of different turns, and it's not a rush to get somewhere, because really the end of your life, you're not rushing to get to that. And so that's kind of the sailing metaphor. And then I talk about in the book that the name of your book is An Ideal Life, just like every sailboat has a name on the back of it. And an ideal life is twofold. One, yeah, ideal as in terms of you want to create this wonderful life, and you need to kind of understand and have a vision of what that looks like. But also ideal means I deal. So I deal with whatever comes my way, and that's really that proactive approach to life that will really help people. So that's the name of your boat. And then we talk about, you being the captain, and I have my silly little drawings here. I'm certainly no artist, but um, the idea being you're the captain. So you take full responsibility for your life. You're no longer blaming others or pointing fingers. You are in charge. And then I talk about the life jacket, and the life jacket that you wear is just your approach to failure and not being afraid to fail, because you know that mistakes you'll learn from. And so as long as you have that attitude, you essentially have a life jacket on and you're not afraid anymore of, taking chances, taking risks. And I talk about the compass. So important to trust that inner gut feeling, that inner wisdom we all have, that intuition that we all have. That's truly your compass, and to get in touch with that. And that may mean that you need to start a meditation practice or really learn to trust that. So important as you're moving through life. I talk about the journal. Every trusty captain carries a journal, and your journal is one where you keep a gratitude journal. So every day, thinking about what you're thankful for, writing about it. So all kinds of research done about the importance of that on not only your mental, but your physical health. And so keeping a gratitude journal is super important. Then I talk about your cooler. You got to have a cooler filled with healthy food and have an exercise routine, because if you're not physically thriving, it can be very hard to thrive in other aspects of your life. And for many people, that's an area they need to work on. I talk about your crew, and those are, your board of directors, the relationships you have in your life. The number one predictor of happiness, according to Tal Ben-Shahar, is the quality of your most important relationships. And so I, talk about really evaluating who's in your life, whose crew you're serving on. And we talk about your sales, and your sales are your skills and using your greatest strengths, the importance of knowing what your greatest strengths are and having a way of using them regularly in your life, and also improving the life skills that you maybe are not perfecting yet, because those life skills are super important. And, those things are like goal setting, organization, problem solving, time management. Then I talk about the anchor. Everyone needs an anchor in their life. This is something bigger than yourself. It could be spiritually, religion, but it could just be a cause that you put energy towards that's bigger than you, the environment, something like that. So that even in your life when, maybe other aspects aren't thriving, you're still contributing to something bigger than yourself, or you have something bigger than yourself that matters to you and is in your life. So I talk about that. Then I talk about the stars, making sure you have inspiration in your life and seeking it. You can't just wait to be inspired. You have to go out and seek inspiration that really fuels you to keep going. Just like sailors out on the seas would look up at the stars for inspiration and guidance. You need to find things that inspire you and really get them into your life regularly. And then we're almost done here. We get into the treasure. And the treasure is really where a lot of people start. This is things like certain jobs you want, certain houses or cars you want to have in your life, certain experiences, vacations you want to go on. There's nothing wrong with having those treasures, but that's not the focus. You'll notice that it's towards the end of the booklet, and you do want to figure out, what are things that are really aligned with your interests, values, skills, and personality to go after. But it's not the end all be all. Like you're picking up treasures along the way in your life, and that's great. But all those other factors that we talked about before the treasures are really going to make your life much more rich and fulfilling. It's also going to help you have more success in obtaining the treasures that you want. And then we talk about a treasure map being, talking to mentors and people who have gone before you, who have the treasures you want, and learning from them, but also paying attention to the signs in life. There are signs everywhere, and you just have to pay attention to them. And so that's the whole booklet. At the end here, we say climb aboard and start somewhere. And where do you begin? Well, you can go back through all the sections in the book, or I've summarized them with this thing called the Captain's Vows. And each one of these relates to one of the sections we've talked about. And you figure out, like, where am I not really committed? Am I not fully committed to keeping a daily gratitude journal? It's like, okay, that could be the place I start then. And maybe you can do more research on gratitude and the power of gratitude and watch some TED Talks on that, or read some, research articles to really understand the value of it. Or maybe you're not committing to regularly putting energy towards something bigger than yourself. And that's something that maybe you can add to your life and see how it affects you. So there's all kinds of different sections, and it really is, again, the starting point. It's interactive. That's why I wrote it. And it's called Select an Ideal Life SAIL is the acronym there. So hopefully that helps you get a better understanding of what the booklet's all about. Hopefully your copy comes soon and you can read it for yourself and get a lot out of it. Yeah. And people can purchase copies of it from my website, captaininspiration.com, and look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.